As far as missions goes, we're going to be talking about Lifeword this morning. Lifeword has been a friend of ours for many, many, many years. Beth and I visited them a long time ago, probably late 90s, and we asked them, what are you doing to reach unreached people groups around the world? And that's kind of their focus in their radio broadcast ministry. And so we were really on board with them about that, because that's what we're into too. We want to get the gospel to the last places, to the uttermost. And so that's kind of their focus. They travel around the world. They have projects and recording studios all over the world. We've had opportunity to train an African over here at Conway, and we taught him in a suitcase environment how to take it from village to village, set up a recording studio in each village, record whatever that language is, and then go to the next village. And so they're spreading the gospel all over the place. As far as the mission of Lifeword, I want to show you that. They focus on the unreached. They making the presentations culturally relevant, speaking in the heart language of the hearer, using creative approaches to capture the listener's attention, responding to felt needs of our neighbors, whether near or far, ministering to local churches through media services, striving always to present ourselves in a professional and godly manner, working in harmony with other fellow Christians and living exemplary lives which reflect the God-given joy of being ambassadors for Christ. When they can go into a village or to a city and they set up these little spots that run on the radio, and then the missionaries come in behind that and they begin to knock on doors, they found that they've been able to plant churches so much more rapidly, because the people go, oh, I've heard about y'all on the radio about Jesus, and tell me more. And so it works great. I think, what was it? It was like 10 times more church plants because they were already in there with the gospel. We're going to see a video now of the Quechua Indians in Guatemala. This was one of the unreached people groups, and they've got a little 3-minute video that tells us a little bit about that project.
The Quechua are Mayan people of Guatemala and Belize. Their Mayan religion is one of animism, worshiping spirits and souls that they believe exist in animals, plants, mountains, rivers, and people. To appease the spirits, they offer sacrifices of animals, crops, and sometimes even humans. Other religions have come in, but many have only continued to teach superstitious and works-based beliefs. The Quechua are the second largest indigenous group in Guatemala, with over 1.1 million people. More than 700,000 of those live in the Petén department, the most rural state of Guatemala. This department serves as a highway for Colombian drug traffickers on their way to the United States, which is why it's called the Wild West of Guatemala. Most of Petén is unreached with the gospel, and Quechua villages are hidden throughout the rainforest. The Quechua are largely illiterate and closed to outsiders. 78% don't speak any other language besides Quechua. All of these factors make this the perfect place for a Lifeword broadcast. In 2009, Lifeword's first Quechua radio program went on the air, led by 2 native Quechua missionaries, Jose and Domingo, and coordinated by the Dinsmores, American missionaries to the Quechua. Since then, Quechua from throughout the area have been calling in, asking for missionaries to come to their villages. Many of these villages were unknown to exist until now, and many Quechua are hearing about Jesus for the first time. They're calling to say that they've been saved as a result of hearing the gospel on the radio. Entire families and villages are being brought to Christ through the Lifeword broadcasts. The responses outnumber the people able to visit the villages. Tucked far into the jungles with rough terrain and often flooded rivers, it's difficult to reach these villages in person, but the radio waves continue to reach the unreachable. Lifeword hopes to add repeater stations, which will broadcast the radio program farther into the jungles. But more laborers are needed on the ground. The long rainy season and lack of transportation make it difficult to physically reach many of the villages. Lifeword will continue to broadcast the word and pray as Quechua are being trained to go out and reach their own people. When you send a financial gift to Lifeword, you are funding the gospel radio broadcast and the costs of missionaries following up with broadcast listeners. You can help one more village hear the gospel. One more family can know that eternal life comes not from worshiping spirits, but from worshiping the one and true God.
Of course, Missional Baptist Church, we have about 31 missions supports right now, and Lifeword is one of our monthly supports that we send out. We send them $50 a month, and so our church is actively involved in what's going on right there. All right, it's testimony.